Help me reach 5,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I never thought I'd be the kind of man who questioned the person he loved. My name is Ethan, and for most of our relationship, I trusted Claire with everything I had. She was funny, steady, and naturally charming. The kind of woman who could walk into a room and make people feel like they'd known her forever. We had been together for 4 years, married for 2. Life wasn't perfect, but it was steady. We lived in a small apartment just outside Chicago, both working long hours and barely seeing each other during the week. Still, I believed our foundation was strong, until the day small cracks began to show. It started quietly, the late-night work dinners, the sudden obsession with fitness when she'd never cared about the gym before, the way her phone suddenly never left her hand. I told myself not to overthink it, that paranoia ruins marriages faster than the truth ever could. But one evening, sitting alone at our dining table waiting for her to come home, I noticed something strange. Her location tag, something we shared out of habit, wasn't updating. It showed her still at work, even though her office had closed 2 hours earlier. When she finally walked in, she looked surprised to see me awake. "Hey," she said, setting down her purse quickly, almost too quickly. "You're still up?" I smiled, trying to sound normal. "Yeah, just waiting for you. Late night?" She paused before answering. "Yeah, we had some last-minute paperwork. You know how it is." But I didn't. Claire's firm didn't do late paperwork. Everything was scheduled with precision. I'd heard her brag about it enough times to know something didn't add up. That night, while she showered, I sat in the dim light, staring at her phone on the counter. The screen lit up once, just long enough for me to see a name. Adam. My stomach twisted, but I didn't touch the phone. I wasn't ready to cross that line. Not yet. Days passed, and the unease turned into a quiet obsession. I noticed everything: a new perfume, hidden receipts, a locked phone gallery. Every instinct screamed that something was wrong, but I still hoped I was wrong. Then came the night that shattered the illusion. We were heading out to dinner with her coworkers, a rare double date kind of evening. She wore a black skirt and a white silk blouse, her hair neatly tied back, her lips painted a shade I'd never seen before. She looked beautiful, and yet unfamiliar. As she adjusted her skirt before leaving, something white peeked out near the waistband. At first, I thought it was a tag, but curiosity mixed with fear took over. "Hey, hold on," I said casually, stepping closer. "You've got something there." She froze halfway through turning. "What do you mean?" "Let me fix it." I reached out and gently tugged at the inner lining of her skirt. A folded piece of paper slipped onto the floor. She went pale, completely still. When I bent down to pick it up, she tried to grab it first, but I was quicker. My hands shook as I unfolded the note. There it was, handwritten, neatly folded, with a man's name at the bottom. "Can't wait to see you again tonight. Same place." The words didn't need explaining. My chest felt empty. My ears rang as if the room had gone silent. She stood there, unable to speak, her lips trembling. "Ethan, it's not what you think." I let out a quiet laugh, the kind that comes when pain hits too fast to process. "Then tell me," I said softly, "what am I supposed to think?" Her eyes darted toward the door, then back to me, searching for an escape. But the silence that followed said more than any confession ever could. I placed the note on the table between us. "You know," I said quietly, "I used to think the worst thing that could happen was losing you. Turns out it's realizing I never really had you." Claire didn't respond right away. Her hands shook as if words were trapped between guilt and fear. I watched her breathe, her lips parting like she wanted to speak, but nothing came out. Finally, she said, "It's not an affair, it's complicated." Complicated. The universal word for lies wrapped in half-truths. I sat down and motioned for her to continue. "Go on." I said calmly. Uncomplicate it. She stared at the note, avoiding my eyes. Adam's a friend from work. We were supposed to meet about a project. I cut her off. At night? After lying about paperwork? With notes saying you can't wait to see him again? Her face crumpled, tears filling her eyes. I know how it looks. I didn't mean for it to happen. I just. She paused, breathing unevenly. I just felt unseen, Ethan. That word hit harder than I expected. Some part of me knew there was truth in it. I had been distant, stuck in routine, but distance doesn't justify betrayal. It calls for honesty. So you felt unseen, I said slowly, and instead of talking to me, you chose to be seen by someone else. Seeing each other, deeply and honestly, without hiding behind laughter or distraction. Over the next few days, I kept replaying the evening in my mind. I realized how easy it is to hurt the people closest to us without meaning to, thinking we're just being playful or funny. And I saw how rare it is to find someone who responds not with anger or drama, but with calm truth and clarity. Ethan had stunned the whole room. Yes, but more importantly, he had awakened me to what I had been overlooking. That night, I made a conscious choice to change. I would still joke and share laughter, but I would also pause, listen, and pay attention. I would truly see Ethan, not just as my husband, but as a man who deserved respect, appreciation, and care. Because love, I learned, isn't about who laughs the loudest at dinner. It's about who feels seen, valued, and understood, even in the smallest moments. And as we settled into bed that night, Ethan reached over, gave my hand a gentle squeeze, and whispered, I know you'll try. That's enough for now. I believed him, because sometimes the strongest lessons aren't taught through anger or shouting. They're learned in quiet moments, in the calm shock of honesty, and in the deep respect that follows.